Everyone avoided the black man at the wedding until the bride said his name and everything changed. The Grand Palace ballroom overflowed with glittering guests when Daniel walked in. His neat, modest suit looked almost out of place among the tailored tuxedos and couture gowns. At 35, he had driven 3 hours from the capital just to attend, though now he questioned whether he should have come at all. "Excuse me, sir. Invitation?" the security guard demanded, stepping in front of him like a wall. Others walked through easily, but Daniel handed over his gold-edged card. The guard studied it as if examining a forged passport before reluctantly letting him inside. Silence fluttered across the hall the moment Daniel entered. Conversations thinned, eyes lingered too long, and small groups shifted away as though avoiding a shadow. A gray-haired woman leaned toward her friend and whispered, "Who is that man?" "He's not one of ours." Daniel approached an empty table, but before he could sit, a woman rushed over. "Sorry, these seats are reserved for the groom's family," she said, though nothing indicated that. The same excuse came from 3 more tables until he found an isolated chair near the waiter's exit. No one bothered claiming that one. A server passed with champagne 4 times without offering him a glass. When Daniel finally asked, the young man stuttered, Let me check if any are left," and vanished for 20 minutes. Through the ceremony, Daniel watched the pattern repeat. Warm greetings for everyone but him. Group photos from which he was quietly excluded. People interacting as if he were invisible or inconvenient. Then the bride, beautiful in a lace gown, passed through the room greeting guests. When her eyes met Daniel's, she froze. Her face drained of color. She pivoted sharply, pretending she hadn't seen him at all. But Daniel's calm expression masked something deeper. A quiet steadiness that only people carrying a heavy, powerful secret possess. If you've ever felt discrimination press against your chest, you know sometimes silence isn't surrender. It's strategy. The DJ announced the godparents' dance. Couples glided to the floor while Daniel drifted toward the bar, only to be blocked by 3 middle-aged men pretending to discuss investments. "Sorry, pal," one muttered without looking at him. "We're busy here." They laughed loudly at a fake joke, their eyes cold. Daniel stepped back. Even the restroom line twisted around him. Men arriving after him suddenly slipped ahead while conversations conveniently obstructed his path. After 20 minutes, he gave up and walked to the terrace. Outside, under soft lights, he finally breathed. He texted quickly, "I'm here. Everything's unfolding as expected." The reply came instantly. "Good. Document everything. We need airtight evidence." "They're making it easy," Daniel typed. He didn't notice the bride's mother, Mrs. Coleman, watching from the window before she stormed toward him. "Young man," she snapped, voice sharp as broken glass. "This is a private event. I don't think you should be out here alone." "I stepped out for some air," Daniel replied evenly. "Air?" She laughed sharply. "I don't know how you got that invitation, but I strongly suggest you disappear before my husband calls real security. People like you are not part of our circle." Guests gathered behind her, forming a silent ring of judgment. Margaret Whitfield, a local socialite, chimed in. "Sometimes people get excited receiving invitations to elegant events, but there are limits." The groom, Robert Jr., appeared. "Mom, what's going on?" "We're just coaching this young man on social etiquette," Margaret said sweetly. Robert stared at Daniel. "I know you from somewhere." Daniel held his gaze, unsettling the groom. "I doubt it." But Daniel had seen what he came for. Fear, recognition, guilt flickering behind polite masks. Inside the ballroom, Amanda, the bride, was whispering anxiously to her bridesmaids. Every time someone pointed at Daniel, she shook her head in frantic denial. The photographer approached Daniel. "Excuse me, could you move? You're disrupting the look of the pictures." "Disrupting the look," Daniel repeated softly. He finally smiled, but not kindly. Because what the guests didn't realize was that Daniel had never come as a victim. He had come as a witness collecting evidence, hours of it. He discreetly started his pocket recorder. Test, test, he whispered. Perfect audio levels. His phone buzzed. Status? Daniel typed. Exactly what we predicted. Maybe worse. Good, his partner replied. Monday will be decisive. Keep them talking. Mrs. Coleman returned, this time with her husband, Colonel Coleman, a retired officer known for his traditional values. Young man, he barked, my wife says you are disturbing our event. Colonel Coleman, Daniel replied calmly, an honor to meet you. The colonel seemed thrown off by Daniel's self-assured composure. Where did you meet our Amanda? Mrs. Coleman demanded. Our history is layered, Daniel replied. Certain chapters deserve the right moment. Amanda, across the hall, blanched. Margaret pushed forward. Colonel, maybe stronger measures are needed. What kind? Daniel asked, activating his recorder. Oh, the kind you people understand. Margaret sneered. Police, background checks, whatever it takes. The colonel growled. I'll call Sheriff Martinez. He can remove you. Sheriff Martinez, Daniel echoed. Interesting choice. Something in his tone made the colonel falter. Then Amanda finally rushed over. Stop, she ordered. Daniel, thank you for coming. It was unexpected. The family looked stunned. So you do know him? Margaret pressed. We studied law together. Amanda lied quickly. Daniel raised a brow. Your imagination is impressive. The colonel snapped. Then why the confusion? Before Amanda could respond, Daniel's phone buzzed again. Protagonist panicking. Keep applying pressure. Daniel turned back to them. Amanda, since you mentioned our university years, perhaps I should share a few memories. No, she gasped. The colonel had enough. Sheriff Martinez will be here soon. Actually, Daniel said, checking his phone. He won't. He's busy with a federal matter. Confusion rippled across the group. Moments later, Sheriff Martinez entered, then froze. Sir, Advocate General Washington, he breathed. Guests gasped. Daniel finally revealed his badge. Daniel Washington, Advocate General, U.S. Department of Justice, Civil Rights Division. Stunned silence. Margaret whispered, Impossible. You're... Yes, Daniel said. I'm also the one who's been investigating civil rights violations in this state for 3 years. Amanda sank into a chair. Daniel opened a file. Amanda, perhaps we should discuss your role in falsifying evidence, accepting bribes, and denying housing to hundreds of minority families. No, Daniel, please. Agents quietly entered the hall, securing exits. Colonel Coleman blustered, You can't raid us without a warrant. Daniel handed it to him. Signed today, federal operation authorized. The room descended into shock. Amanda's secret contract work, discriminatory housing barriers, corporate corruption, all exposed. Robert removed his wedding ring. I don't even know who you are. FBI agents escorted Amanda away, still in her wedding dress. The irony was sharp as glass. Months later, the news reported, Coleman Enterprises bankrupt. Amanda sentenced. Whitfield Construction collapsed. Families finally receiving homes. Discrimination cases reforming national policy. Daniel received letters weekly. People thanking him for exposing injustice. One photo stayed pinned above his desk. Children smiling in front of new homes built with recovered funds. They had tried to make him small. Instead, they revealed their own smallness. Justice doesn't always arrive loudly. But when it does, it echoes for generations.